X-Men, Chapter 6. New Team, New Mission. As dawn broke over Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters, the kitchen began to stir with the morning routine of its inhabitants. Remy wandered into the kitchen, yawning wildly and rubbing the sleep from his eyes. "Good morning, Grandfere," Alyssa greeted him with a cheerful smile, taking a sip of her orange juice. The sunlight streamed through the window cast a warm glow on the siblings, highlighting the bond they were beginning to form. Remy blinked a few times, the scent of breakfast slowly waking him up. "Morning, Petite," he replied, a lazy grin spreading across his face as he reached for a cup of coffee. The day was just beginning. "So, Petite, what you have planned for today?" Alyssa smiled and slid a plate of bagels towards him. "Sam wants to head into town with some of the other kids, but I kind of want to just stay here and just chill. We've been running so much. I just want to slow down for a bit." Remy pulled a knife from the drawer and walked over to the fridge, retrieving the cream cheese. "I understand that, Petite. What do you have to go with Sam?" he asked, spreading the cream cheese on his bagel. Alyssa shrugged, taking a sip of her juice. "I don't have to, but she is my girlfriend. I just feel like I should. But maybe a day of relax is what I need." Remy nodded, his eyes warm with understanding. "Ain't nothing wrong with taking a break sometimes. Even an X-Men needs to recharge," he said, offering her a reassuring smile.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a group of men for any task that our tax-paying social justice system won't and cannot handle. Whether it's rescues, scaring someone, murder, maybe someone owes you money, maybe you don't feel safe, then hire these amazing mutants. A team for any mission for any easy fee. Call the number on our screen for the Mutants for Hire now!
Down in the Danger Room, the advanced training facility of Xavier's school, the air buzzed with energy and focus. Samantha, now known by her codename Hardwire, was already deep into her training session, moving with precision and intent alongside Shadowcat and Magma. Shadowcat phased through obstacles efficiently, her agility and speed making her a challenging opponent. "Keep up, Hardwire. Don't let your guard down," she called out, a smile playing on her lips. Magma, with her control over molten lava, created challenging scenarios, sending waves of hot and molten rock towards Sam. "Stay sharp, Hardwire. Adapt and overcome," she encouraged, her eyes glowing with the power of her abilities. Sam nodded, determination etched on her face. She daftly dodged and countered, using her powers to control electricity to manipulate the environment around her. "Keep it up. Let's keep going. Let's keep pushing," she responded, her voice filled with resolve. "You're doing good, Hardwire. You and Wildfire are more well-trained than your fellow classmates," Shadowcat praised as she attempted a roundhouse kick. Hardwire smiled and backflipped out of the way, her movements fluid and confident. Magma flew at Hardwire, her body surrounded by molten lava. Hardwire quickly threw up an electronic field around herself, causing Magma to bounce off harmlessly. "That's only because we've been hunted for so long," she explains, her eyes serious. "Why is that?" Magma asks, catching her balance mid-air. "Even before my powers kicked in, I was already a good hacker. So I've been in one kind of trouble or another," Hardwire replied, her voice steady. "And Wildfire's been running from the guild for as long as she can remember." Shadowcat nodded, understanding the weight of her words. "You've both been through a lot, but you're safe here. We train to be ready for anything, but also to find peace." Hardwire smiled, feeling the support and camaraderie of her teammates. "Thanks, Shadowcat. We're ready to fight, but it's nice to know we're not alone anymore." Magma powered down, the heat dissipating from her body. "Let's stop for now. I am starving," she said, placing a hand on her stomach. "Danger Room, in simulation." The holographic environment faded away, returning the room to its natural state. The three teammates made their way towards the exit, their spirits high after a productive training session.
Hello there. It's me, Usopp, King of the Snipers. If you'd like to hear about my latest adventures with the other Straw Hats, you should go over to One Piece, the audio drama, created by Cosplay Dude 637, and give it a listen. If you want, you could check out the other channels by Cosplay Dude, but we all know you really want to hear about me.
In the quiet, serene office of Professor X, a conversation was taking place that would shape the lives of the X-Men in ways no one had ever seen coming. The room, usually a peaceful and calm reflection, was filled with a sense of urgency and gravity. Professor Charles Xavier sat behind his desk, his hands steepled as he listened intently. Across from him sat Scott and Jean Summers. Their expressions reflected of the discussion. "There is just no way," Jean said, her voice tinged with concern. "I know you are right, my dear, but it needs to be done," Xavier replied, his tone resolute. "Yes, we all agree on that, Professor. But if the X-Men go in like that, how would it look?" Scott added, worry etched on his face. "All the good work we have done would be thrown away," Jean emphasized. Xavier nodded thoughtfully. "So, then we would need a team that can go in, but do it under the radar." "Yeah, that'd be for the best, but who?" Jean wonders aloud. Xavier leans back, a knowing smile forming on his lips. "Yes, maybe a few wild cards that would be more than willing to go off on their own." Scott raised an eyebrow, beginning to see where Xavier was heading. "You're thinking of a team that can operate independently without drawing too much attention." "Precisely, my boy," Xavier affirmed. "A team of individuals who can blend in, act covertly, and handle themselves in unpredictable situations." Jean nodded slowly, understanding the necessity. "It makes sense. We need to protect our reputation while still addressing the threat." Xavier looked at both of them, his eyes filled with determination. "We will need to choose wisely. The team will face challenges unlike any before, but I believe they can rise to the occasion." Scott and Jean exchanged a glance, their resolve strengthening. "We trust your judgment, Professor," Scott said. "As do I," Jean agreed. "Let's find our wild cards and ensure that they are ready for whatever is to come." With the decision made, a new chapter in the X-Men history began to unfold, one that would test their limits and redefine their mission in ways that had never been anticipated.
What you have just listened to is a product created by the Three Ranger Bros Studio.
Hosted by three cosplaying fathers who
happen to be massive geeks of all sorts of fandoms.
They are Mark, the Red Cornish Ranger,
Cosplay Dude 637,
and Tai Tiger.
The studio covers different types of YouTube videos, TikToks, podcasts, and live streams.
If you wish to find out who cosplays who, the YouTube channels, the TikTok accounts, and the podcasts, and all of the other social media platforms,
please go to the3rangerbrostudios.com.
Thank you so much for listening to this tale. Now, if you like what you're hearing here on Marvel Universe 19, head over to Tiger Tales, ran by my Parabatai and business partner, Tai Tiger. He hosts a storytelling channel also, and on there you will find most of my stories too, from my old podcast, Storytime. So if you like what you're hearing here, head over and check out his stories on Tiger Tales. Trust me, they are amazing.